Happy Thursday, Eagles Nation. Welcome to today's episode of Bird Buzz. Stephen Hellmann here alongside Tom Aresco, Views from the Link TV, and we got the Seahawks. Seahawks this weekend is going to be...
It's going to be a tough one.
It's not going to be easy, that's for sure. But there's a big win over the Falcons, so hopefully they can carry this momentum. They've been simulating some noise in practice this week, so we're gonna see what's going to go down.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on this game initially? Before we get into these questions.
I just think it's going to be a really tough game, tough one to win on the road, and that's a tough stadium to play in. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my boy LaDainian Tomlinson because he's just a great player, and it's one of my favorite jerseys of all time. Saw it, needed to cover the computer because of the reflection, and thought, hey,
and you just
got that jersey in 6th grade, and I love it. So.
I heard the man. That's why it's there. Yeah, that's why it's there.
Even though it's the Eagles, he actually was on the Eagles. You guys were tricked. That's not really the Chargers. It's the Eagles, and he's my favorite player ever.
Oh, is he? All right, okay. It's like Sammy B's my favorite player.
Sammy B's his. Mine's LaDainian Tomlinson. If he were an Eagle.
All right. So we'll go through the questions here. First one, 808 Eagles asks, with the wide receiver core truly struggling, what do you think the Eagles organization will do in the draft and offseason? Who do you think will remain on the team?
The receivers?
Yeah.
I've been saying for a long time now, I think they need to get 2 receivers in the offseason. Mm-hmm. I really do. I think you need to get 2 receivers. So go to the draft and go to free agency. And I like Corey Davis in the draft, and I like Alshon Jeffrey and Terrell Pryor in free agency.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
good. And if we did get Corey Davis, then I'd be even all right with the ever so often injured Deshaun Jackson. Probably not, though, because he's always hurt. But give me Alshon Pryor, and then give me Corey Davis in the draft.
Yeah,
and you're talking a seriously booming receiving core.
Yeah, I think you have to get Pryor or Alshon. Doesn't really matter what the cost is, because that's just going to make that's just going to improve your offense exponentially. And then, Aguilar's probably going to be gone next year.
Yeah, Aguilar and DGB are going to have to fight over a spot or something because neither of them are really producing. Mm-hmm. And, we're going to be bringing in new receivers most likely. So.
Yeah, there's 7 games left, so we will see what happens. All right, next question. It's Miles. What would be the keys to beating Seattle?
I think you have to pressure Russell Wilson. Now, something Jim Johnson was good at against mobile quarterbacks was keeping them contained, but not just letting them sit there and throw, really getting pressure on them, but not letting them evade that pressure. So that's kind of what you have to do to keep Russell Wilson corralled. You have to get to him, get him down, get him uncomfortable. Because he's been on fire, and everyone knows about that defense. They smother offenses. They're great. Legion of Boom forever. They've always been awesome. But it's really, I think Russell Wilson's really hot, and he's going to be the key to leading them to some points because it'll be a defensive battle other than that. So.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, front 4 has to dominate their weak offensive line and contain them. The ends contain the 2 tackles. You get like 2 of the best tackles in the league.
And you got to
hold
up on the back end.
So just contain them and
stop the run as well.
And hit them around. That's for sure. Next question. Justin Bradley 13 asks, what record do we need to get into the playoffs? I say 10-6.
Oh yeah, 9-7, 10-6. The good thing is that you control your own destiny, and that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Right now, you control your own destiny with 7 games left. You play a bunch of teams. And have played a bunch of teams that are in that playoff race in the NFC, and that's something that you got to cherish as a fan of a team in somewhat of a rebuild. And it's unfortunate that our division's really stormy this year.
It's a really weird year for standings.
Again, like I said, I'm going to say this in every video. We thought the division could have been had at 9-7 because of last year, but. Dallas is a really good team. The Giants are 6-3, and the Redskins are 5-3-1. So at 5-4, we're in last place. So it's tough. Pill to swallow there, but we just got to keep fighting.
I would have never thought we'd be in last place at 5-4.
Fifth toughest schedule in the NFL too.
Of course, that's just how things work. Next question at Billy Eberling 28. If you could pick one player that deserves to be a Pro Bowler for the Eagles, who would it be?
There's a lot of guys you can name, but I'm going to go with Brandon Graham or Jordan Hicks because those guys weren't thought of to be guys. They're solid starters, but people had some doubts about both those guys. Jordan Hicks last year, maybe he was a flash in the pan, 8 games. He only played 8 games, but he's been amazing. He's just been the quarterback of the defense. He's made plays. He's been exactly what he was last year. Doesn't look like he's a fluke, so I'm throwing him in the Pro Bowl. He's been an absolute stud. But also Brandon Graham, because he's been a monster as well.
Yeah.
People had their doubts about him, and I think he's obviously Fletcher Cox, Malcolm Jenkins, and Rodney McLeod are other guys on the defense that I put in there. And then on offense, maybe Sproles, but he'd be like a specialist, or I don't know. Carson Wentz, you can make a case, because sometimes quarterbacks, like the reserves thing happens. So those are our best players right there that I just named, and then maybe Jason Peters. He's had a really good year too.
Yeah, I gotta go with Jordan Hicks, just because when he went out last year, the linebackers looked terrible, and it is kind of a weakness on our team. I mean, it's not this year because he's holding it together, and I think that he makes such a difference. We're kind of thin at linebacker, and he's just able to hold it down, so it's impressive.
Jordan Hicks.
I vote Jordan Hicks.
I like Nigel Bradham a lot too. He's a good player, but Jordan Hicks and Brandon Graham are the guys that you really needed that extra, because what you were getting from Logan Cox, all those other guys I named. It was a couple extra guys, and those guys turned out to be like. And
let's not forget McLeod. He's been spectacular. He's been unreal.
Yeah, McLeod's unreal.
Next question. Got some people some comments back and forth. I like it. Yeah. He's always doing stuff, talking about Harambe and stuff. All right, that Ninja Zay asks, how impressive you've been by Jordan Hicks this season? He's been lights out lately. There you go. I mean, we just gotta answer that one, man. But he really has been great.
Captain of the defense, and Schwartz trust him.
Yeah, no, he's been the single car, and he's been good, and I think he's doing a lot of stuff that's not showing up on the stat sheets. But you know what? He's making tackles, and he's blowing up plays.
A couple turnovers as of late. Two of those interceptions, and the Giants and the Dallas game, they were big, but unfortunately couldn't pull those out. See, if those were wins, then those plays would have been highlighted a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of been ups and downs, but Hicks has been a really good player this year, all year.
No, for sure. Next question at Tim Wack asks, what are the odds of making a wild card spot?
We kind of talked about that already too, but the odds, it's tough to say, but I'd like to say this. Now before we get down on the Eagles, if they don't make the playoffs this year, and I always think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm going to say that entering every season, but when you step back and look at this season, I mean, right now we are third in the NFC in points allowed. Per game. We are fifth in the, I'm sorry, we are fourth in the NFC in points scored.
Yeah.
And we have the fifth toughest schedule in the entire NFL. So, I mean, when you look at that, how we're playing amongst our conference with that tough of a schedule, and we're 5-4 also.
Yeah.
With a rookie quarterback,
whole new system,
whole new system, all the new staff after Chip Kelly, what people say, dismantled our team, absolutely destroyed it. We are this good. And I know, the couple losses that we did have, you could say the mistakes we made were self-inflicted.
Yeah.
It's not like we were getting totally dominated by teams.
Yeah, we haven't been at all.
To look this tight-knit, this finished, when it's really just the first year of a program, has to really inspire something.
Yeah.
So whether they make the wild card playoff or not this year, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the improvement that I saw and how they're playing. And they still got to finish strong, 7 games, and that's going to be a lot of fun to see them in the home stadiums being able to try to get revenge on the NFC East, because you're down in your division because your 3 or 4 losses were against NFC East opponents.
Yeah.
So I mean it comes down to beating the division, and it's a pretty competitive division. So we'll see how it comes down to it in December.
Yeah, no, I really think last year after we beat the Patriots and the guys, this group, I think there's been a new attitude with this team, and that they feel that they can beat everyone. We squandered some games away this year. We have a new regime, but I think that. When you look since that game, the Eagles have been pretty, they've been pretty solid. Yeah. So I think you got to look at that. And you finished 9-7 this year, which is pretty realistic. You go 4-3 down the stretch here.
Yeah.
And you don't make the playoffs, so whatever. But you were 7-9 last year. Got all new players, new rookie head coach. It's just how things are shaking out. It will be disappointing not make the playoffs, but sometimes 9-7 will get you in that wild card spot depending on the year. So it'd suck if they don't make the playoffs, but it's a good season.
Yeah,
it's a good season moving forward.
It's just how it worked out this year.
Yeah.
But you're right. 9-7 sometimes does get you in the wild card, and the Eagles will be improving. That's for sure.
And that's the one thing, and they have been. Next question at CV Football 81 asks, is Ezekiel Elliott a potential MVP candidate? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say so.
Pains me to say that.
I think that giving the MVP to him is really saying the offensive line, the Cowboys' offensive line was stellar this year.
They're unreal.
I think it's that they're going to share they're going to share it, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I would vote Derek Carr.
Derek Carr?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been
Turned the Oakland Raiders from what I saw my whole life as a laughingstock back into a perennial playoff team and a real contender because he's that good. I like Ezekiel Elliott, obviously, and even Dak Prescott deserves some credit. You know, they're both just lighting it up. Best team in the NFL right now, 8-1. You can't say anything. The Cowboys are a really, really good team, and there's a couple other guys. Brady, obviously, someone you think of. You know, my pick for MVP in the beginning of the season was Russell Wilson, and right now, what is Russell Wilson doing? And this is why, because great players shine in that last half of the season when your team needs to get hot and go into the playoffs. And I think Russell Wilson's going to prove to a lot of people why he should be in MVP discussions, because despite a slow start, he's coming on strong now. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Next question at JMC216 asks, do you think we only try against good teams because they're better? Because last year we beat the New England Patriots and lost to the Jets and Bucs. So we actually beat the Jets.
Yeah, we beat the Jets.
But the Jets were actually, they finished 7-6. They weren't bad last year.
Yeah,
they were 2-0.
Kind of proves to his point is that, we beat the Jets, we beat the Patriots, but then we lose to the Bucs and the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions. Last
playing
year.
down to the competition is definitely a problem.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that they don't get up for the games. I don't know. It's just how the games shake out. I think they can compete with every team. That doesn't mean they're gonna win every game. Nobody wins every game really. So I mean, when it comes down to it, you have to believe that team just competes, and they go out there and they give their all, and sometimes mistakes can hurt them. And I think it's just going to be a tough stretch to get through right now, and it's just you got to just get through these growing pains. Really, that's it.
No, I think when they beat New England, it sent a message. And when Chip was here, his first 2 years up until that Redskins game in 2014 that we lost, where we needed to win that game to go into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. We would bake away on bad teams. We would beat bad teams. We were losing to the good ones, and then we lose that game. And then we don't get in the playoffs, and then 2015, we got all these new players and stuff like that, and we were losing games, and we were losing the bad teams. I mean, the Detroit game last year,
the Detroit stretch was brutal.
That was where you kind of bottomed out, and you somehow, they had
the Patriots and Bills
no chance to beat those guys, and you did, and I think that was huge, and I think now they're able to get up for these games and stuff like that. I think that was a huge win
win over the
franchise.
Patriots. Yeah, I think that was the game. Remember the 53 Angry Men shirts? Jeffrey Lurie wanting to take the team back. I think that was the real start of this regime, was that game. Yeah, and then winning that game, and now they beat it. Now they get up and they beat good teams. And if the Eagles weren't beating teams like Atlanta and the 5-0 Vikings coming off their bye week, playing at a high level, competing with teams, beating the Steelers, just absolutely smacking them in the mouth. If we weren't going to those levels and beating those teams and playing, winning those games, the season would already be over. Yeah. And now we're in a situation where we're 1 or 2 big wins away from being right back in the conversation. So it's an exciting time for the Eagles, and I think they're going to elevate their team and really, it's going to be crazy.
Oh, this is good. Zay actually asked a second question, so we answered Jordan Hicks' question before we got to it, so this is good. He says chances of the Eagles calling up Calvin Johnson in the offseason and trying to recruit him here.
I would doubt that. I think Calvin Johnson's fine where he's at, but good question.
He's content.
I'd rather go pay a guy who still wants to play, like Jeffrey or Terrell Pryor, or draft a guy. But obviously Calvin Johnson, it was a great receiver, and maybe we'll have his jersey back here one day.
Maybe we will. All right, last question here. SmithBoy93 asks, what are some of the keys to containing Wilson? Also, do you guys see us getting over the hump and finally winning a tough road game? Well, we kind of went over the keys to containing Wilson.
Yeah, you got to keep him in the pocket.
The ends got to come out, and then the 2 D tackles need to push in and collapse the pockets, which they've been doing it a lot this year.
Yes,
they really did that to Sammy B.
Yeah, they need to just beat this guy, just straight up 4-man rush at him and get to him and get around him. And do we win a tough road game? It's going to be really tough. it's the Seahawks. It's the road game, you know.
Yeah.
Just how football.
We really
is
haven't
in
like
house-
played in many like hostile environments on the road though. Like Detroit, I'm sorry, you
tickets
can
are
get
like
tickets.
40
Their
bucks.
tickets are like $40. Anyone get into the Redskins? The
Redskins.
Redskins stadium's huge and it's like half empty at the time. Cowboys fans like. It's not even like that. Like it's not like that ridiculous either. It's so big and
this is
and the Bears on Monday night, like they just suck. So it's like
Yeah.
this is maybe they get up for this game because it's gonna be loud, angry, and who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows? Maybe they just
maybe this is what they needed. But this is the road game. This
Yeah.
is the road game of all road games.
You know they're
win
gonna-
a road game here. You can win.
they're gonna be so motivated for this game. If they beat them, they're gonna go nuts.
Yeah, if they pull a win out against the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, it would be huge. You can't say enough about it, but that's kind of how it goes. It's gonna be tough, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see what happens. So we will see you guys on Monday for the weekly chirp post game breakdown, whatever you want to call it. But thanks for joining us. It's gonna be a huge game on Sunday, so we're really looking forward to it, and we'll see you guys later.